Number one, Caitlin Clark, being incredibly telegenic and very good overall, okay, has, alongside many other initiatives of like trying to make the WNBA more marketable, has kind of made the WNBA more marketable. Okay. A lot of people are paying attention. A lot of people are interested. And the reality is that, you know, being white probably plays a role in her marketability as well. And I think a lot of people are upset. A lot of people that are in the WNBA get a little catty with it and have been bullying her, apparently. And it is pissed off not just like right-wing culture warriors or whatever, but also simultaneously like basketball former pros that I watch as well. Like this is not like a contentious issue overall where people are just like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, why are you bullying her this much? And I don't know if it's because like people are a little jealous or whatever, but the fact that like a WNBA flagrant foul has reached Washington Post article levels is insane. Okay. I don't know if it's like regular process in the WNBA to bully green rookies this hard. I don't know if it's partially because like people are kind of jealous. I don't know if it's because people are just like, yeah, you're a newcomer. And therefore, you know, you don't deserve the spotlight in the way that you're getting the spotlight. I know that rookies get shit on. I know that rookies get hazed, guys. I understand that. But it does feel like it's a little overboard.
Mabry doubled off to Carter. Her jumper is good. Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench. And then the lay from Boston as the officials are going to take a look at what just transpired between Carter and Clark. I mean, that's clearly a foul which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter, I think that's going to be a flagrant one, and Clark goes to the line and hits the first.
Caitlin Clark was talking shit before that. I think that like a lot of the attention on this issue is a byproduct of culture war for sure. I do think that it's great overall that Caitlin Clark got a lot of attention in the NCAA and is, you know, brought a lot of eyeballs and brought a lot of attention to the WNBA as well. Not alone, mind you. Okay. But of course, the discourse very quickly turned into anti-white racism. People are saying that anti-white racism is in full display at the WNBA. A lot of people have also said ridiculous shit in terms of like defending her. You know, claiming that it's a not only anti-white racism, but also, you know, or even people that are shitting on Caitlin Clark as well. I think Pat McAfee said something along the lines of like calling her a white bitch or something, and people were mad at him. I'm not entirely certain as to what he said. Oh, here, Matt Barnes is who I was thinking of, who had a pretty good take on it, I think.
Going on right now. Caitlin Clark says she got cheap shotted against the sky. I mean, throughout the season.
Listen, he's half white, guys. Okay, listen, he's Italian, he's white and black. Think about that. This man understands race. Okay, all the white supremacists out there who are like, wait a minute, I don't know if I want to hear his opinion on this.
She's been getting beat up. Hard screens, elbows, knocked down. It is what it is. She's not the first. She won't be the last. My issue and my question is, where the fuck are her teammates at? Where y'all at? Where the rest of the Indiana Fever at? I've seen a couple girls smirk when she's got knocked down, half-assed to pick her up. Like, y'all supposed to protect the asset, protect the star. And all this is the team. She's the star. You always protect your star. I was someone who protected the stars. You fuck with Kobe, CP, Blake, list goes on. It's going to be a problem because you guys are supposed to be a family. And you wonder why you sit at the bottom of the league right now is because y'all don't protect each other, man. Coach don't do shit about it. Players don't do shit about it. Y'all should be ashamed of it. But the rest of the league is going to continue to test her. And that's what they're supposed to do. It's your guys' fucking job to have her back and have each other's back.
Like, I think that it's a weird story because, like, if Caitlin Clark wasn't white, I don't know if she would have this level of star power, even if she had the same skill, right? Because I do think that in a country like the United States of America, yes, white people dominating do definitely get extra attention from other white people. And it's not always just white supremacy. It is also sometimes, ironically enough, I guess in the most charitable way possible, it is not entirely just white supremacy. White supremacy plays a big role in it for sure, but also from the angle of like seeing someone like yourself. When I see a guy like Luka or Joker, ultimately it's a schlubby white dude playing basketball really fucking well, not very fast overall. Like, that makes me happy as well, even though LeBron is the GOAT, right? Put some respect on his name. But when you see someone doing something that's doing something in a really good way, that kind of looks like you, you're like, oh, that's sick. And then sometimes it's white supremacist in general. Okay? And I think that those are all the reasons as to why Caitlin Clark is so explosively popular. And also because she's a pretty great shooter overall. But I don't know if like the bullying is happening because she's a rookie and she's gotten a lot of what other WNBA players might think is undeserved attention. I think it's probably a little bit more on that front. Like, as a rookie, she was going to get bullied regardless. As a rookie who has a lot of eyeballs on her, she's going to get double the amount of animosity in general. And I think all of that combined is the reason why these things are happening currently. And yet, of course, the right wing is going to go right wing and go nutty mode and say a lot of fucking unhinged shit.
We're talking about them maximizing their great potential. And because we bring that up and talk about what potentially might get in their way, which we do to men all the time, now we got to sit up here and watch every syllable. I resent that, and I'll leave it at that.
All right, so let me, I know we got to go to break. Welcome to the world of being a woman, Stephen A., and how you have to dance about your word choice and you have to please everybody and anybody as you navigate your being. We are talking about the world's greatest
How about being a black man?
Being black. Hold on 1 second.
Have you?
So this is what I'm saying to y'all, though, and I know we got to go to break, and we didn't necessarily go there, and maybe we should. There are so many layers in this conversation around the way that it's being discussed. When you no. And yes, Shannon, I know y'all are going to say you know, and Stephen A., I know you're going to, you just shared that you have talked about the WNBA on your program too. You guys may not have said everybody, but the prevailing sentiment for folks that are just joining the WNBA and following women's sports is unfair to the women of this league, to your point, who have laid the groundwork for Caitlin Clark to come in and now take it to the next level. That's all I'm saying in these conversations. Kennedy Carter's behavior is not indicative of the entire league. We are still talking about competition where you are allowed to get a little extra elbow in if you are competing and you do it within the parameters of the game. The game is physical. Caitlin is helping to grow the league. These women understand that, but she cannot be babied as a rookie. That's all I'm at.
I think it's a pretty solid take. I think it's just like regular ass bullying with a little bit more of like the you're not shit. Like, don't think that you're shit. It's more than regular ass bullying that rookies get, partially as a consequence of the fact that like there's a lot more extra attention on her.
Who talks about the WNBA? Who talks about women? Who talk about women's sports more than First Take?
Stephen A., respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to.
Ooh.
Wow.
All right, we got to go. You guys.
You know you're my guy, but
who does more than
Stephen
us?
A., I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you.
Wow.
Don't do that. I'm talking to you about the power that you have.
Okay.
I'm talking to you.
Oh my Lord.
Okay.
Oh no, that's a blood feud. Oh no.
You're my guy, but I'm talking to you.
I think in a professional setting, there's no room for bullying. It was unnecessary. Bro, what are you talking about? We're talking about sports, okay? It's all ego. It's all fucking machismo in many different layers. The fuck are you talking about? It's competitive professional sports. Of course there's bullying.
Guys, I really appreciate
you my girl, but you've missed a lot of episodes of First Take. You missed a lot.
Stephen A., 3 years ago, you would not talk about the W at this level. Don't do that.
Guys.
Nobody was, Monica.
Guys,
you making Stephen A.'s point, Monica. Monica, you making Stephen A.'s point.
Please let me do my job. Please let me do my job. We've gone for 40 minutes straight. It was a riveting discussion. I have to get into commercial break.
Professional sports is also at the intersection of entertainment and athleticism. So, like, this is a part of both of those things. Getting defensive about bullying in sports? Yes, I am. Especially when it comes to like competitive play. I personally think that it's like touchdown end zone dances, like touchdown celebrations or celebrations after a goal. It's like a normal occurrence and a good thing overall. You can also do it through the legal way of putting your nutsack on top of someone's head as well, by just absolutely fucking posterizing them. But, you know.
And in at least a couple of instances, I think Shannon alluded to where I'm about to go. I'm a bit more direct with it. I just want to let the audience know that I'm going to stand alone on what I'm about to say. I don't want anybody else.
He's fucking brave, dude.
To be held accountable for where I'm about to go. But I'm going to go there. Because it's First Take, and that's what we do on this show, even if it's just me. Caitlin Clark and everything that everybody is saying is fine, and we're looking at Angel Reese and what Angel Reese has said, and Angel Reese is absolutely right. I love Angel Reese. I'm a fan, and I think she's going to be a damn good player, and she's going to produce for a long time in the WNBA. She was a national champion. She deserves all the props and all the credit in the world.
I love the vibe that Stephen A. Smith brings to the table every time he's about to say some shit. And he brings that same intensity when he's talking about fucking Mewtwo dunking on LeBron James. It's just like, there's always like Dark Soul Boss music playing in the background in his head. Like, what are you going to do? You're about to defend a white woman. Like, what are we doing here? It's not the bravest take of all time, okay? I promise you.
But let's keep in mind, it wasn't her game that was getting all the notoriety, despite the fact that she was a pretty damn good player. It was the fact that she was waving in Caitlin Clark's face. Because Caitlin Clark had been doing that to the competition before she ran into LSU. In that NCAA tournament, and LSU took them out. And so what happens is she was throwing it right back in her face. And you had people saying, oh my God, how could she do such a thing? How could she do such a thing? And they didn't say the same thing about Caitlin Clark, which is why I'm gonna go where I'm going. Okay? Let me see everybody up on the screen when I say this, please. Caitlin Clark is white. And because she's white, and because she's considered box office and she's a star who happens to be white, that is why Eminem, when I brought up words like envy or jealous or resentment, whatever word you wanted to pick, I didn't say it in a negative fashion like, oh my God, it's a problem. I used the word justified. You know why? Because black people throughout this country for years have felt that level of ire because we know we...
Okay, never mind. He's kind of cooking. What the fuck? Am I misunderstanding what he's saying? I thought he was going to defend Caitlin Clark, but it seems like he's defending the negativity that she's experiencing. Is there a butt coming?
I feel like be twice as good to get half as much. We know we've got to extend ourselves. We know we've got to put ourselves on Front Street to have a shot at getting half. Pick a profession. Pick a name. Ask yourself, pick the biggest star. Pick the biggest star in podcasts. Pick the biggest star in television. Pick the biggest star in sports or whatever. That's black. And ask yourself the question that we all ask. If they were white, what would they be? How much money would we get paid if we were white? How much success would we reap if we were white? How much endorsements would we get? How receptive would America be to us? Because it's still 60% of the population. And even in the year 2024, when the white populace in this country is dipped from 90 to 85 to 80 to 70 to now 60% and dipping, okay? Even now, you have a situation where you get somebody who happens to be white and they're a star and they deserve the acclaim. They receive something we know we wouldn't receive on that level. Why do you think I say on national television, when white folks catch a cold, black folks catch pneumonia? Because it's always worse for us.
Steph Home X. What the I was not expecting him to say these things. I thought he was gonna. I didn't even listen to what he had to say before I immediately ran and thought that he was gonna defend Caitlin Clark. He's still a black man-a-thon? Okay, listen to me. Stephen A. Smith has said some of the more unhinged things about black players. Okay, people that have listened to him for years understand where I'm coming from, I think. This is a unique fucking take. I'm still waiting for a but here.
There's always an extra challenge. We always have to go through more. It's not a secret. We get it. And so all I'm trying to say to you is when Angel Reese said what she said, let's read between the lines. Because what she's really saying is that this is really not a big deal. We're making it a big deal because of what I did and who I did it to. If it was another sister that I did it towards, it wouldn't have been a problem. But because my black self did that to the golden goose, who happens to be white, it blew up. I've reaped some benefits from it, and I'll take that. But in the end, we know what it is. She is saying and articulating and being symptomatic of things that we have been going through as a community for decades, if not centuries. And the sad part is that in the year 2024, this is further evidence we still going through it. Because in the end, like you said, Eminem, like you said, Janae, like I know you know, Shay Shay, if we weren't talking about Caitlin Clark, but we were talking about this happening with a sister, guess what? We wouldn't have been talking about it at all. It wouldn't have been a story. The golden goose was touched. And all I'm saying is, I know this. Y'all know this. I'm just saying, rather than resent it to the point where it's an impediment to our elevation and success, let's exploit it and reap the benefits from it. Because that's what they do.
Okay, that was a cooking session. Like that was surprising. I mean, he did. And people saying like, "Oh, dude, Stephen A. Smith always cooks like this. You're not aware or whatever." I've heard him say like borderline white supremacist shit about black players. Like straight up, which is why I expected him to like unconditionally offer full-throated support to Caitlin Clark instead of contextualizing the Caitlin Clark situation. I mean, he does cook from time to time as well, but like contextualizing the Caitlin Clark situation from the perspective of like what black female players go through. Nah, Stephen A's the GOAT. You mad that he says Jordan better than LeBron? Okay, listen. You don't have to provide further evidence that Stephen A. Smith sometimes has white supremacist takes by bringing LeBron into the equation. It is unnecessary. It is unnecessary of you to bring that forward because it's not helping your argument. Sass doesn't say white supremacy shit. He just cooks black men in public whenever they do something wrong, which does come off against blacks sometimes. No, he definitely has a lot of old head takes. Like 100%. My man said blacks. Listen, it's important. It's important to recognize our flaws as human beings. Okay,
I think that's going to be a flagrant one, and Clark goes to the line and hits the first. They called it away from the ball foul.
You are Shannon Sharp 3 years ago on your LeBron fandom. I love. Okay, Shannon Sharp is great as well. What do you mean? Never a bad take.
Because it happened prior to the inbound, so then anybody can shoot the free throw. Of course, Indiana would have Clark as a great free throw shooter shoot it. A little.
He's also the most jacked. And where is the drippiest? What are we talking about?